evening and thanks very much for joining us. Just a day before Christmas and a day after Health Canada approved Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine, the country's two largest provinces have reached record highs of new COVID-19 infections. Despite lockdown efforts and pleas from top officials for Canadians not to gather this holiday season, experts fear the worst is yet to come. Vanessa Lee reports.
In Quebec, 146 people are fighting for their lives in intensive care units. Hospitals are running full tilt. To help ease the strain, 11 adults are currently being treated at the Montreal Children's Hospital.
Capacity of the entire network is reaching the tipping point. We are having trouble with transfers to the most appropriate hospital depending on the need of the patient because everybody is full to bursting.
An inspection at this Toronto nursing home has found inconsistent infection prevention measures, such as a lack of PPE in residents' rooms. At least 26 residents here have succumbed to the virus, and nearly half have tested positive, including Jessica Wong's 82-year-old grandmother, Jean.
I'm heartbroken. Ideal situation was as soon as we found out her test results, and if she was tested negative, we were going to bring her out right away.
The day after Canada approved a second vaccine, that dose of hope is tempered by a grim reality. A record increase in COVID cases in the country's two most populous provinces. There are 49 new deaths linked to the virus in Ontario, another 46 lives lost in Quebec. Doctors believe cases will only continue to rise through the holidays as Canadians defy public health orders.
There is going to be an expected bump in cases, much like we saw after Thanksgiving in Canada, much like we saw after Thanksgiving in the United States, purely related to people getting together.
Here in Quebec, it's hoped a full holiday lockdown will help bring down the number of infections. All schools and non-essential businesses will be closed until January 11th. Vanessa Lee, CTV News, Montreal.
After 23 new COVID cases reported yesterday, the number has dropped back to single digits today. The district health unit says there are 9 new cases in the Thunder Bay area. 2 of those come from the outbreak at Southbridge Roseview. 3 others are a result of close contact, and another 3 are from travel outside of the region. 1 case has no known exposure. Additionally, the number of active cases has dropped now to 95. There have been no new deaths to report, and there are currently no COVID cases in hospital. Meanwhile, Thunder Bay Police have issued a caution about a new phishing scam that's making its rounds. It involves a suspicious email appearing to be from a bank that provides a link and instruction on how you can receive COVID-19 relief payment. Police are warning recipients not to click the link, as the sender can use that to access your banking and other personal information. Police advise that if you are legitimately waiting for a COVID-19 payment and do receive such an email, to independently contact the bank to ensure the communication is legitimate. And this is usually a very busy time of year at the Thunder Bay Airport, but with travel restrictions in place and airlines reducing flight frequency, traffic through the airport this year has been greatly reduced. However, both airport officials and travelers remain optimistic things will improve in the new year. Adam Riley has more.
On what is normally one of the busiest traveling days of the year, things were exceptionally quiet at the Thunder Bay Airport today. Of the small number of travelers who were on hand, many indicated it was the lure of being home for the holidays that led them to board a plane. Seamus Elvish says while holiday travel can be frustrating, it is worth it to see loved ones. And he says there have been some benefits.
There's 2 rows of seats on each side, and then 1 person gets 2 seats on each side. So I had 2 seats to myself. So that was a bonus. Not super long lines, which is another bonus. I had to wear the mask on the plane and in the airport, but whatever, it's just a mask.
But passengers like Elvish are in the minority. Passenger volumes at the Thunder Bay Airport are down about 80% for the year. That's led to a major drop in revenue, with few offsetting options to cut costs. Thunder Bay Airport Authority President Ed Schmidtke says aside from some air ambulance and charter flights, it has been a very solemn Christmas so far.
Activity around the terminal building has been very low, obviously, with 80% of the passengers missing, with all airlines on skeleton schedules, and of course with no porter at all.
Schmidtke believes things will stay relatively the same for the first quarter of 2021 until the distribution and application of the new COVID-19 vaccines becomes more widespread. But Schmidtke remains optimistic for 2021.
There were some very strong signals that came out of the federal finance minister's fall economic statement, where there were some very specific references to support for airports. Those details are not here yet. We're encouraged by those statements and look forward to seeing those details and hope for some financial assistance early in the new year.
Adam Riley, TBT News.
As for most years on Christmas Eve, several last-minute shoppers were out and about looking to find those last-minute gifts, but it appears a combination of cold weather and COVID-19 actually kept those numbers lower than usual. Kayla Karim reports.
Those who left their Christmas shopping until the last minute faced a difficult task today. Finding that perfect gift for those you love becomes harder when inventory in the stores has already been thinned out. At the same time, this is an important day for retailers as they are working in to get every last sale they can before the provincial lockdown forces them to shut their doors. That's why they were working together to find just the right things. Mall goer Alex Halverson says she spent today shopping for herself and others despite the less than ideal weather conditions.
And then now it's freezing cold, so not a lot of people, like if there were lines, would want to stand out in them, and that was even our hesitation to coming out today, but we were like, it's the last day to do it, so I guess we'll just bite the bullet and go through with it.
Valerie Reach is the owner of That's It Toys and Ruckus. Reach says there weren't as many shoppers today as she has anticipated. But she says many of her customers prefer to come into the store to see exactly what they are buying, and today she saw exactly that.
Generally, Christmas shoppers at this time need help, so we like to help them find exactly what they'd like. I personally like to hands-on. I like to see it, feel it, and purchase it.
Shoppers and store owners alike say they were shocked by the low numbers who were looking for last-minute treasures today. But they say that's probably due to a shopping rush that occurred earlier in the year and that more people are turning to online options to fill their needs. Kayla Karim, TBT News.
Boarded outdoor rinks in Thunder Bay have now officially opened for the season, and it will become news for many families looking for some recreation as the looming province-wide lockdown will restrict a number of activities. The city operates and maintains 38 outdoor skating rinks, but those who wish to enjoy them will be facing some new rules. Due to the pandemic, users must social distance while skating, meaning no hockey games, and heated change rooms will be closed during the lockdown. Boarded supervised rinks are open from 2 to 10 during weekdays and 1 to 9 on weekends. The city's unboarded skating ponds are still being prepared for use. Acting Parks Manager Tom Forsyth says city crews have been working hard to ensure they're open.
It's really important through the lockdown especially. Typically they're busy through the Christmas holiday period anyway. With the lockdown plus kids being off for an extra week, I think having the outdoor rinks and having a recreational opportunity for kids is really important. Kids and adults, actually.
Carrick Park, North End Community Center, West Thunder Community Center, and the James Street Playfield rinks will be open for Boxing Day and New Year's Day from 1 to 9 p.m. As we wait for the arrival of Santa, all of us have hopes for that special gift we'd of course like to see under the tree this year, and that includes our political leaders here in the Thunder Bay area. They shared with us what they're hoping to see this Christmas.
Just wishing for the best for the community. This has been a trying time for people on a lot of levels, and as I say, we're finding our way through this like everybody is. All communities, the planet is finding their way through this. But it's been very hard for a lot of people on a variety of levels. And so the wish would be that everybody can just hang in, hang tight, stay vigilant.
You know, I'm at an age now where I don't really need anything for Christmas. What I want for Christmas is for my family and those I love the most, people I'm closest to have a happy, healthy Christmas. And so far, they've all managed to get through the year okay and in good shape.
Well, I want hugs from my grandchildren. They've been few and far between because of travel to Toronto, and so that's what I want for Christmas.
I just want some time off, and I never thought I'd say that. But I have a punishing schedule the next few days until Friday, and then I will have some time off over the holidays with my partner, and I will walk some dogs and do a whole bunch of nothing for as long as my team will let me.
I don't know. I'm getting like more and more of a curmudgeon as I get older. It's like my Baba, my grandmother always used to say, I want nothing. Don't give me anything. I'm starting to feel, I don't want anything. I'm good. What else do I need? I can't say I want much. Maybe a good bottle of whiskey. How about that?
A good bottle of whiskey, yeah, exactly. Remember that Jameson tree we saw a couple weeks ago? Then maybe that's a good one for Mark Pelosi.
There we go. We got him one.
Tyler, sports coming up after the break.
Yeah, stuff from yesterday. Raptors opened their season. Of course, Hockey Canada, Team Canada played some pre-tournament action against Russia in the juniors, and we have that curling highlight from last night, Major League of Curling. Stay tuned.